Yes, guys. Good afternoon. How is everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing well. Thank you very much for joining me on your Sunday afternoon, guys. Do appreciate it. This is just a match reaction from the game last night. Big up to everyone joining me right now. I'll be back again today as well, guys. I'll be doing the watch along for Brighton versus Man United this afternoon as well. So make sure you join me for the Brighton Man United game this afternoon. So we do the watch along for the FA Cup semi-final. But yeah, lots on the show today. Lots to talk about on the show today. Firstly, the Liverpool beating Nottingham Forest 3-2. I'd love to know everyone's thoughts in this game. Obviously, thank you very much for joining me on the watch along yesterday. I do really, really appreciate it. Thank you for everyone joining me yesterday. It was a good show. Although my app went down and yeah, we had I lost the first 2 minutes of the second half. But apart from that, it was all good. Apart from that, it was all good. But how is everyone feeling today? I hope everyone's doing well. Before we start, don't forget to hit that like button, guys. Subscribe if you're new. Share, like, share, and subscribe. You know it is around here, guys. Like, share, and subscribe. I would really, really appreciate it. Thank you, guys, very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Big up to everyone in chat. Big up Vic. Big up Redbird. Big up Ras. Big up Kate. Big up Albert. Big up Jamie. Big up Daz. Hope you're all doing well this afternoon, guys. Hope you're all doing well this afternoon. All right, Albert, was that you who DM'd me, man? Albert, if that's you who DM'd me, yeah, I'll send you the link, man. I'll send you the link. I'll send you a link in a little bit, man, and then I'll get you on the show. All right, give me a little minute. So Liverpool beating Nottingham Forest 3-2, in which was a good game. No, it was a decent game from Liverpool's point of view. We were terrible at parts yesterday, but winning the game. But we'll get to that in 1 second. Got Ends in the chat as well. Ends, if you want to come on, mate, if you're free, I can send you the link as well, Ends, man, if you're free, mate. If you want to come on with your views of the game, love to hear your views. Albert, you want to come on as well. So what I'll do, I'll send you the links, guys. I'll DM you the links right now, and you can have your say as well. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Right, Albert, I'll DM you the link, my man. And Ends, I'll DM you the link, mate. If you're free to come on, you can. Of course, if you're busy, my man. I understand, but The link's there if you wanna pop on, my man. Yeah, so we'll get Albert on it. I think Albert was at the game. Big up Albert. I think he was at the game, so he can give us a bit more of a view of what he saw there. But yeah, look, it was a game. It was a difficult match for us. Forest, you know what Forest gotta do? You gotta sit back, soak up pressure, try not to get beaten. It's gonna be a difficult game of football. It's just the way it is. Yeah, the way Nottingham Forest play Liverpool against low blocks, still have an issue. But I'll get to that in a minute. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's get Albert on. Albert. Oh, Albert can hear himself. Let's see, we've got Albert, yeah. Albert, I can hear myself. Have you got YouTube on, my man? There we go. Let Albert just sort that out, and he'll be here. Yeah, so we'll go get Albert's point of view on the game as well. Yeah, but there was a lot of positives still from this game. You know, Jota getting a brace. You know, I'm happy for Jota, man. 4 goals in 2 games now. You know, he's got as many goals as certain people that have gone to Man United this summer. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's nice to see Jota in the goals. It's nice to see Jota in the goals. Albert, why do I just take you out a minute while you're getting your stuff ready, and I'll bring you back in with your eyes back. Here you go. Hang on, Albert.
Yeah.
There you go. He's back. There you go. That's better. How you doing, my man?
I'm good, my brother. How are you doing?
Not too bad. So, was you at the game? Did you say?
Yeah, I was.
Tell us your experience, my man.
I even met Neil Jones and had a chat with him for about 5 minutes.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Tell us your experience then. Go for it, Albert. Tell the world your experience.
You know, I'm going to get to Jordan Henderson in a minute, but it was a very difficult game. It was a very, very, very difficult game. Just judging by what I saw yesterday, I'm still wondering why Nottingham Forest are relegation threatened, if I could put it that way. Maybe it's the standard of the Premier League as we have it right now, or maybe like some of you think that the whole Premier League is actually shit this year. Could be a mixture of both.
Mm-hmm.
But they gave as good as they got.
Yeah,
because
totally.
Liverpool didn't play badly at all yesterday. The only person who didn't belong on that pitch was Jordan Henderson.
I agree.
It was pathetic what he was doing on the pitch. You know, most of the time, and you've been to a lot of games, what we see on TV is not necessarily what goes on the pitch. But I'm glad one particular incident has been highlighted by a good Samaritan who was taking videos on the pitch and brought it on Twitter. It was the second goal we conceded. Nunez was basically marking Gibbs-White before the set piece. Okay? And Jordan Henderson pushed him away. Told him, go. I'll take him, go deal with another guy.
That's right. I saw that.
And then the ball comes back to Gibbs-White and he scores.
Mm-hmm.
And then Henderson turns around and goes to blame Nunez.
Oh, no. Oh, I saw that.
And he actually played for 90 minutes. See, as much as I don't think he belongs in a Liverpool shirt, and the manager wants to field him, why did he field him for 90 minutes?
Oh, I know.
What business did he have? What business did he have taking off Curtis Jones? You know, I'm doing a mea culpa. I've said the things I've said about Curtis Jones.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also big enough to know that I was wrong.
Yeah, Curtis is playing all right.
The last 4 matches I've seen of Curtis Jones, those people saying we should sell him should stop saying it. Because another thing we don't see most of the time is that he was playing to instruction. Indeed, to the extent that Klopp was always calling him, signaling him to come back when he will go forward.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we need to be patient with our players, especially the young ones. Another thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to be profound about it, is that it's a dereliction of duty, and I'm choosing my words carefully. It's a dereliction of duty to keep playing Trent as a fullback. That kid is a potential Kevin De Bruyne. I am not mincing any words.
I agree.
Get a fucking fullback and put him there and let that guy cook. Give him the ingredients, give him the utensils, give him the fire, and let him cook some fucking stew, man.
No, I agree.
Trent is, I'm telling you something, man. Trent is a star in the making. Like a real future £100 million plus star. Like star.
I agree.
Make no mistake about it.
I agree.
I thought against Arsenal, he was exceptional. He was even better yesterday.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he has ability. You see, we've all watched football for a long time. There are players who can make the game about them. Frankie Rijkaard was one of them. I saw the former French captain. What was his name? The guy who got in trouble with the law. UEFA president. What's his name? The name has just escaped me for a moment.
Oh, the UEFA president. I can't remember his name now. But I know you're on about.
Yeah, him. Kevin De Bruyne. There are others. Potentially Trent is one of them.
Yeah, Platini, Captain South.
Platini.
There you go.
I know people are gonna laugh at me, but you will soon be laughing on the other side of your face if his potential is enhanced.
Albert, you agree with me on this one? I think Trent's a better defender in midfield than he is a defender when he's defending.
Absolutely, I was going there.
Yeah,
see, he has a busy bee nature to him, right? And he can dictate the pace of a game if he's given the chance to do that.
Yeah.
I have now begun to understand his confidence. He knows his ability. He believes in himself. Sometimes those things are misplaced, but that guy is a work of art. He is a Picasso coming.
Yeah.
If Klopp doesn't destroy him. You know?
Yeah,
if
I agree.
Klopp doesn't destroy him. What I saw of him yesterday, I was like, damn. And so you see, the England manager has been right all along. That playing Klopp as a fullback, playing Trent as a fullback is a mistake. But another question I want to ask is, why did it take our manager 28 matches to realize this?
I don't know. I've been saying it. I've been saying it the last week or so. I don't mind. I don't actually mind managers copying other managers and stuff like that. That don't bother me. So I'm glad Klopp has copied Pep and what he's doing and all that. That's good. My only thing is, why didn't he doing it sooner? You know,
well, Klopp copied Pep copied Arteta. Who gives a fuck?
Everyone copies.
Everybody copies somebody.
Pep Guardiola copied Johan Cruyff. That is,
exactly. Who gives a crap?
Everyone copies. So I'm not bothered with any of that copying stuff. Really ain't. What I've just been saying the last few days is like, I wish he'd just done it a few weeks earlier. If he'd done it a
Tell
few
me
weeks
about it.
earlier, we might be a few better points better off.
Yeah.
And everything might be a little bit rosier.
Jamie, going forward, Liverpool simply have to play that 6-6 thing with a double pivot. End of story.
Yeah, it suits us.
End of story.
But we do have to get a right back in, because
we have to get a bona fide right back. Absolutely.
The last 3 games we've played this, I've noticed that Konate's not quite been the same defender, because he's having to do more work than he should be doing, because he's having to pull across.
The other thing is, truth be told, it won't work against some of the big boys. You know that.
No, because you leave too much space. You leave too much space. Yeah,
you're leaving too much space. I mean, imagine playing that sort of system against Vinicius. Even Mitoma, he will take us there. So at the end of the day, I mean, where we are now, it doesn't matter if he tries stuff. I'm not really bothered about that. But he needs a bona fide fullback at that position, and he needs to put Trent permanently as part of a 2 in the middle. At worst, he should put him on the right side of the midfield. Let him play with let him play with Salah on that side. See, you remember the 3rd goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see where Trent put the ball.
Yeah.
You can't be taught. That doesn't come with coaching. It's instinct. It's knowing how the attacker plays. Where he put the ball for Salah to take a single touch to score the goal, it's not coaching thing. No coach can teach you that.
No, exactly.
And the longer we keep Trent shackled somewhat against what he can do, the more we as a team struggle. I mean, I don't know how else to put it.
Well, if you look at Trent, he's got more assists. He's got more assists and created more goals in the last 3 games than he has all season by putting him further forward.
There we have it. I didn't even know that. There we have
it. And he's more. Look, if we go through our whole team, how many of our players are actually that creative? You know, I mean, Trent's super creative. If he gets the ball in dangerous areas of the pitch, he's got to create opportunities for the strikers, and that's what we've been crying out for. And look, Trent at right back, I've been saying it for a while now. We can't go into next season, in my opinion, as Trent as right back, because we're going to get the same situations we've had this season. It don't matter what players come in. I still think we'll have the same situation with opposition teams attacking our right side of our pitch. That'll always be the case. So you get Trent in that midfield, you buy a right back, a good right back, like Carl Walker-Peters or something like that, at right back. You get Trent in midfield. I've noticed that Fabinho's look better as well, with Trent sitting there as well with him. And Trent, what people don't realise is as well, you go and look at the stats, Trent is actually one of the best interceptors, not just in the league, but in Europe. He's very, very good at intercepting the ball. And he can read the game better in midfield than he does in defence. You know, he seems more comfortable as a defender in midfield than he does at defending at fullback. And you get him more creative on the pitch. Now, we've played Arsenal, Leeds and Forest. Now, I think he's probably arguably been our best player in all 3 games. He's been our most creative influence in all 3 games at the same time as well. I think Klopp seriously got to look at this now for next season and think, right, playing Trent as inverted, because he weren't really an inverted fullback yesterday. He played in midfield the whole match. I don't think he went much back into the right back position. He might have fell into there at times, but he basically played inverted the whole match. He played in midfield the whole match. It weren't an inverted fullback role. Our problem is,
to be honest, he actually played more centre back.
Covered in the middle.
Than you.
Oh, Albert.
He was a fullback.
Yeah, because he covered Virgil in one instance, didn't he? In that centre back area when Virgil lost the ball and he covered Virgil. Yeah, he intercepts well. You know, it suits his game. You can see how much fun he's having as well. You know, he keeps. Do you know what I like about it? Do you know what I like about Trent in midfield as well? And I've been saying this as well. He keeps the ball ticking over. He keeps the ball moving constantly. You know, how
And
many times do we have midfielders to
you
hold the
said
ball?
something about the interceptions that he
Mm,
makes in midfield. He is such a disruptor.
yeah.
Um, Yesterday, G was saying he gave the ball away 30 times, and I told him, but he interrupted and broke up play 40 times. So the fact that a midfielder may give the ball away every now and then means nothing if he actually is disrupting play in the mid. You know, many of us said Trent can play in the midfield, and I don't know what we were thinking. I really don't know what we were thinking. Some of us actually went to the extent of saying Trent should be sold. I mean, what were we thinking? What the hell were we thinking? And hey, you can insult me all you want. I'm insulting myself because I was one of them.
Mm.
I at a point in time, I actually wanted Trent sold. That would have been a fucking mistake. That would have, I wouldn't have forgiven myself. Because as soon as we started talking about selling Trent, Real Madrid decided they were interested. I wonder what they saw.
Every team would want Trent. I'm telling you right now. I think Gary Neville said it. If Trent came available in the market, every team in Europe would want him.
That's not even a discussion we should be having. Like
No.
I said, that guy is a future. I don't even know. Jeez, what a player. And he doesn't get tired.
Mm.
You know, yesterday Fabinho played very well, but he was gassed. He was completely gassed. So the manager had to remove him.
Mm.
I have absolutely no idea what Henderson did on the pitch for 90 minutes. He was utterly useless. Useless. I mean, he was
I
useless
don't.
to a fault.
Well,
And
let's talk about the Henderson situation quickly because what I've noticed recently, I don't know about you, Albert. What I've noticed recently is that Klopp's gone back to sort of like the old way of Liverpool playing with the counter pressing, right? Because he spoke about it in his press conference that
yeah,
Liverpool's best
he
Liverpool's
actually
best
has.
Liverpool's best way of playing is counter pressing. Yeah, counter pressing is our best way of playing. And I've noticed the last few games, Henderson's work rate has gone up where he does more running, right? And I'm fine with that, right? I'm fine with work rate, yeah. But the problem is Henderson's got the work rate. I'll credit him for that. He does work hard. You know, the running up and down, getting in positions. But the problem is he's got no quality with the ball now. This is the issue. So when he gets the ball, I even heard little groans in the crowd at times, like yesterday when I was watching the game, where he'd get the ball and he'd pass it sideways or backwards and really slow the game down. And I could even hear little groans in the crowd. I'm like, I never used to hear
You are spot on. It was the
Yeah,
crowd were what? Let me tell you, the crowd were really upset when he took off Curtis Jones
yeah, because Curtis is
because
decent.
the crowd wanted him to take off Henderson,
Mm,
right? And they were very upset when, for example, he would get the ball around the edge of the box, and they were expecting him to at least make an attempt to shoot, and he'll pass backwards.
mm,
When he found himself in a forward position, there were so many times Salah put him up in the forward position, and what did he do? He will pass back.
mm.
There was one instance where Salah questioned him, asked him, why are you passing the ball to me? Why are you bringing it back? Go forward, you know, on the byline. Look, I, I don't know what our manager's thinking. And
Mm.
frankly, I'm not paid £50 million a year to think for him. But
No.
I think the time has come for him to redefine what Hendo does, right?
Mm.
Because I would have thought that maybe after 60 minutes, he would have brought Henderson off and brought Milner in at that
Mm.
position. Seeing that he needs a geriatric in his team at all times, he would have done that, right? Replacing Curtis Jones really hurt us because Curtis Jones was the one player who couldn't be dispossessed. Look,
Mm-hmm.
that guy is a really, really, really good player. Look,
Yeah, I
he
like
is
him.
a very, very good player. He does stuff off the ball that the TV cameras don't show us. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and I am in a way we criticize Klopp, but I think in showing faith with Curtis Jones, he was right. I've seen stuff over the last 4 matches that those saying we should sell him should stop it. We shouldn't sell him.
No, he's not going nowhere.
There's
He's not going
absolutely
nowhere.
no way we
He's
should
not
sell
going
him. You see,
nowhere. No, he's not.
Liverpool needs a deep squad, a squad
Totally.
of able players. So with that kid Bacetic coming back and the acquisitions we make, of course, we need complete players. We need players like Kevin Turam. We need players like Ugarte. We need the McAllexers of this world. I don't, whatever he decides to do it.
Agreed.
But you can't let players like Jones go. You just can't do that.
No.
Because
Can't.
given the rate at which our players get injured in training, the last thing you want is for a key player to get injured in training without you being able to replace him. So those people saying that should stop. It's just that Klopp has this uncanny ability to destroy players because he won't play them in the positions in which they can play.
Mm.
That's it. That's it. I mean, look at this situation with Nunez, right?
Yeah, hang on. We'll get to that.
Nunez-
We'll get to the
Well,
Darwin stuff in a
okay.
minute. So I want to chat about that in a minute. But with Curtis Jones, what you're saying there is right. Like the reason Curtis Jones has looked good, he's playing more games consecutively. When you're playing games in a row, that helps. Before Curtis will play 1 or 2 games, and you don't see him again for 4 months and stuff like that. So he's playing more games in a row now. Plus, he's a more advanced area of the pitch because we're not playing a midfield three. Because we're not playing midfield three, he's not in that. He's not sitting back further up the pitch. He's getting in the more attacking areas because we're playing because Trent's sitting there with Fabinho. It allows the 2 midfielders in front of them to push further forward. And so Hendo's in further forward areas. And this is why we're getting annoyed because Hendo's getting the ball in good areas of the pitch, but his quality is lacking. So we're not getting nothing from him. Curtis Jones is in good advanced areas of the pitch. And what I like is Curtis Jones has got nice link-up play. Jones has got nice link-up play, especially with Jota over on that side because they can both keep the ball. He likes playing one touches. He likes playing gives and goes. He likes these little flicks in around 5 yards and stuff like that. And that's what you need. You need them sort of players. And with Curtis, I just want to see him there. There's no reason not to play Curtis for the rest of the season. Just if Curtis is fit, just let him play the rest of the season because I don't understand why you drop him right now. In fact, the mad thing is Curtis has actually taken Thiago's spot. It's Thiago's spot he's taken because Thiago plays on the left-hand side. Yep. And it's Thiago's spot he's taken right now. And I've been saying this for a while now. There was a report that came out a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you saw it, Albert, that Liverpool probably won't re-sign Thiago to a new deal. And his contract runs out next season, the end of next season, 2024. So there might be... I'm wondering if Liverpool are going to let Thiago go this summer. Because Klopp is playing Curtis Jones now a lot on that left-hand side. And I'm wondering if he's looking right. If Thiago's going, if I'm going to let Thiago go next season, let's see how Curtis can do for me over on that side. He's preparing for next season maybe because Hendo's playing all the time. Curtis is taking Thiago's spot. I don't know how you feel about that, Albert. What do you reckon, mate?
Here's my problem with Thiago. And there are two issues. Thiago's injury record with Liverpool is not good.
No.
He is a brilliant player on his day, but a player who has been unavailable and it's a full third of the time he has been at Liverpool is not a player whose contract you should renew. Let's be honest. At 32, you don't do that. Right? You don't do that. I don't know what the hierarchy in Liverpool would do, but let's also not forget that he's on a lot of money. He's on a lot of money. So if you're going to renew the contract, the least you can do is actually give him the same amount he gets or I'm not sure whether they have a 1-year extension on his contract. I don't know what they have, but I wouldn't give him a 3-4 year contract. No, you can't. You just can't do that. The other thing is that, and I'm going to say this, pardon me if you disagree with me, I don't think Thiago has really worked in the Klopp style, because he slows down the team going forward. He's a brilliant technician. He gets the ball. He's able to do the few, the little things that matters. But even then, I won't put him in the center of the three in midfield, because you saw the mistakes he made yesterday when he came on. I will attribute that to lack of form, because he's been injured. But I don't think that medium to long term he's our guy. Especially when you're going to bring Alexis McAllister into the team, you're going to bring possibly an Ugarte and please don't beat me over the head. Even Rice, I'm saying it like I'm whispering Rice, or sorry, not Rice, sorry, Mount. That's it. Mount. I don't want him in the team. So if you bring those kinds of guys, basically his longevity is basically out of the window. Seeing that he's going to be injured a lot of time, then it may be better to just let him see out his contract and leave on a free. Or if you can get some money for him this term, you let him go. But you shouldn't let him go if you don't know what you're going to get, because he's a good player. The injury record, the amount of money he earns, plus the fact that he actually slows down our team a little bit. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's look. The Thiago stuff. Look, it's a difficult one, because we all know he's a fabulous footballer. There's no doubt about it. We all know Thiago is a fabulous footballer, and he is the best midfielder we got. There's no doubt about that. That's why when Thiago plays, when he's at his best, he looks head and shoulders above everyone. But in reality, if we're playing a counter-pressing style, Thiago don't suit that system. Look, Thiago said it himself. Klopp showed him how to run. Thiago's 31 years old, and he says Klopp showed him how to run, because he's never really had to run before, because of the teams he played for. He played in they played in a system that suited his style of play more. You come to Liverpool, you got to be able to defend and attack and counter press in that midfield. It's very, very important. You're basically a 6 and an 8 at the same time, and you've got to be quite athletic. And that's why Thiago gets a lot of muscle injuries, because the amount we ask him to do. So, yes, it doesn't suit his system, but the system don't suit him. But because he's so good of a footballer, he makes it work. Now, with his passing, look, his passing is second to none. There's no doubt about it. Although I do think Trent's a better passer. But Thiago came on yesterday, and let's be brutally honest here, yeah? Let's be brutally honest. Thiago came on yesterday and was our worst player. There's no, it was terrible when he came on yesterday. It was absolutely terrible. And I love Thiago, but I'm just thinking it all depends who we buy in the summer. If we buy Alexis McAllister and we're going to have Trent as a midfielder next summer, do you still need Thiago?
No, you don't.
So it all depends. It all depends. So I was always the one for last year. I was always the one that we thought, right, yeah, extend Thiago, keep him at Liverpool. Right, because he's so good. Keep him at Liverpool. He's so good. But then I've been thinking about it recently and thinking, right, if he's got a year left in his deal and he keeps getting these nagging injuries, which means we can't rely on him, we've got to be brutal as a team. And, if we get the right players in, if Alexis McAllister comes to Liverpool, I'm all for letting Thiago go, right? If you get Mason Mount, who I don't mind, by the way, but if you get a Mason Mount and I don't know, Conor Gallagher or something like that.
Don't do that.
That are just basically.
The first one was bad enough. Don't
that are just basically runners. They're just they're just basically runners and athletes, then keep Thiago because you're making your team worse. But if you're getting someone like an Alexis McAllister in, who's a complete baller, and you're getting someone like him in your midfield, then I'm all right letting Thiago go. It all depends. Do we want another quality player leaving this football club for free? This is the problem. I know you're not going to get a lot of money for Thiago, obviously, but we keep losing players for free, guys. All these quality players keep leaving Liverpool for free, for nothing. Like we're losing Bobby Firmino, who's a Liverpool legend. There's no doubt about it. Bobby Firmino is a Liverpool legend, yeah. He's leaving this football club for free. Mane left for 20 odd million. We got robbed there. We should have got more money for Mane. I just don't want to. So I think.
Are you sure?
I think the club should be looking at what they do with Thiago seriously. And the only reason I say this about the Thiago situation is because Curtis Jones is playing on the left side of this midfield right now where Thiago plays. And I'm just wondering if Klopp is thinking of a future without Thiago next season. He's giving Curtis Jones his go. Because Thiago could easily come in and replace Henderson on the right-hand side of this midfield. No doubt about it. He walks past Henderson, but he's not playing at the moment. Now, is it injuries or something like that? I'm not sure. Is he working his way back? I don't know. But, yeah, we've got to have these discussions because he literally has 12 months left in his deal, guys. So people in the chat saying we're being negative and stuff like that, we're not. We're just having a conversation. He's literally got 12 months on his deal. Yes, he's a fabulous footballer, but he's not reliable. If Thiago never had injury problems, I'd sign him up tomorrow. Don't get twisted. That would probably be the same. If he didn't have any injury problems whatsoever, and he was always fit and he never ever got injured, I'd give him a lifetime deal. But because he has injury problems all the time, we've got a fabulous footballer there, but can only play like 18 matches a season. Do you really want to give a man 200 grand a week continuously, who's only for another 2 years, who's only going to give you 18 games a season? That's the problem.
The thing with some of the guys in the chat, many of us should understand is you can have any discussion you want, but within every discussion we have, and if you are a responsible content creator, you have to factor in what the manager will do. Because many of us who watch this game and have watched our manager, you can pretty much figure out what he will do. On any given day, given all the players you have, you can pretty much safely predict who he will field. Just last week, he said something. He said that all his players know the criteria to get into his team, and it is counter-pressing. He said it in a press conference. So if you listen to that, that's not difficult to figure out what he wants to do. You see, there's a little problem with if you're trying to get rid, for example, if you wanted to get rid of Thiago today, who's going to take him, pay you money, and pay him the amount of money he earns at Liverpool? Very few teams. So the likely scenario I see is Thiago simply running down his contract and leaving. And for me, that's okay too. Because at that time, you'll be 33.
Yeah, he will be.
The team will be looking to progress with the 22-year-olds that, and that will be okay too. He will probably have spent a year providing some sort of guidance for the incoming group, and then maybe, he leaves like the hero that I think he is. But I don't think that the acquisition of Thiago has done what we all wanted it to do. For simple reason, a third of the time he's been injured. I mean, it's simple. A third of the time. And you see, at critical times, when you needed a Thiago in a team, he wasn't available. If Thiago had been available against Manchester City, we wouldn't have lost 4-1. There's no way we lose against 4-1. No way. It doesn't happen. Right? You saw the role he played in the reverse fixture. If he's, and you also can't wrap a player in cotton wool and say, "Oh, you are so fragile, you are like an egg." So we can't. No, you can't do that. So yeah, I think if you ask me, I think he probably runs down his contract and leaves.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with that as well. I'm happy with that. I'm just wondering what the club will do, and I think Klopp has got to start. Everyone makes mistakes. Klopp's made mistakes. And I think he's got to learn from his mistake about injury-prone players and keeping them too long as well. We kept Keita and Oxlade-Chamberlain far too long. I've spoke about that many times. Oxlade-Chamberlain and Keita, for me, should have left 3 years ago when they weren't producing no more. They should have left 3 years ago and we should have got some money out of them. 100 million pounds. We spent almost 100 million pounds on Oxlade-Chamberlain and Naby Keita, and they both leave them for free. That's criminal.
Yeah, those two should have gone last year.
Yeah, that's criminal. We should have made money on them too. They should have gone. So I think Klopp wants to make sure he doesn't get into their mistakes again, where he trusts players for too long and they let him down continuously. With Thiago, look, it's up to the club, man. It's up to Jurgen Klopp. If Jurgen Klopp feels like Thiago can leave in the summer, then let him leave. If he feels like he can give him another year, being a top quality midfielder. It all depends what Thiago wants as well. If Thiago knows he might not be the first teamer next season, because it all depends what Klopp wants to play. I think Klopp wants to go back to counter pressing and with a defensive forward line like we used to play. I think that's what he wants to do. And it works best for us. We've gone back to that situation for the last 3 or 4 games and we look better for it. And I've said this time and time again. I said this yesterday. I'll get to this Darwin Nunez Gakpo thing right now. I'm going to get to this right now. And Klopp said it himself. The best way for Liverpool to win is counter pressing. He talked about Darwin Nunez because the question was asked to him about Darwin Nunez. Why is he not starting many games and why does he play left wing? And it's because, Klopp said at the moment, obviously the language barrier is one of the reasons. And the other thing at the moment is that he doesn't know how to defend from the front, right? He's not sure how to defend from the front yet. And if we're playing a counter-pressing team, go back a few weeks back. I can't remember when it was, but Klopp did a press conference. It might have been in the January transfer window where we bought Gakpo and they were talking about midfielders. And Klopp talked about it then. He said, it's not midfield that's the actual problem with our game. It's the forward line. Because we don't press from the front no more. That's where the press starts, is the front end of the pitch. And then he spoke about, we used to have Bobby. We used to have Mane. Bobby and Mane and Salah were demons, absolute demons at winning the ball back at high line and winning that counter press back. If the forward line is defending from the front, the midfield can push up and the defence can push up and you can squeeze the whole pitch up there, yeah? And that changed. So Luis Diaz came in. Luis Diaz can do that, but Diaz got injured. Jota then can do that, but then Jota got injured. So then we got Darwin Nunez in. Darwin Nunez don't really play that way. Darwin Nunez wants to run into space. Darwin Nunez wants to run into the space that's available for him and play on the shoulder of defenders. But Klopp also said we don't play that way. We don't play to the way that is best for Darwin right now, which is why Gakpo at the moment plays in the false 9 position, because Gakpo is very good at dropping deep, receiving the ball, protecting the ball, and allowing the team to push up. He gives you that. He will never be as good as Bobby Firmino in that position because Bobby's a legend, but he is quite similar to Bobby, where he can drop deep, win the ball, turn, look about what's around, pass it off, and make runs into the box. That's what he gives us right now. Diogo Jota plays left wing. I know why now. I said it the other day. I don't get why Jota's playing. He came back from injury. He just plays straight away. He's taken Darwin's spot at left wing. And now it makes all the sense in the world because Jota and Gakpo play to Klopp's system. And if I've always said it, if a manager's got a system, play the players that suit that system and you'll win games of football. So if you get players in that play that system, you'll win games of football. And at the moment, Darwin Nunez doesn't really suit the system we're playing, so he's not on the team right now. Jota and Gakpo suit Klopp's system. They know what to do. They can win the ball back in high areas of the pitch. They can counter press and they can attack, right? And they can score goals, right? So I understand why Gakpo's playing false 9. I agree with it. I understand why and I totally understand why Diogo Jota's playing. Jota's going to play that position, guys. When Luis Diaz is fit again, I think we might see Jota as the number 9 striker next season. I don't know, and this is where I stand with Darwin Nunez right now. I don't know going forward what Klopp's got in mind for Darwin Nunez, because right now all I can see next season is Diaz left wing, Salah right wing, and then the two strikers are either going to be one of them's go. It's either going to be Jota or Gakpo right now because they play Klopp's system. I don't know where Darwin fits in and all that. Do you agree, Albert?
Oh, totally. So what did he spend 80 million pounds buying him for?
It makes no sense, does it?
Yeah, that's my question.
And he basically said that like Jota's a striker who can play left wing as well. So I don't know if he's making him a left winger. I don't know unless we change systems. Unless we change systems to fit Darwin through the middle. But you need to create for Darwin. So if you need to create for Darwin, that means you either have to have Darwin playing off a striker, or you have to have a number 10 sitting behind him that can feed him, yeah? And then Darwin will score goals. There's no doubt about that. Darwin will get 20 plus goals if you feed him.
Saying about Darwin, I don't like, because that is Klopp's what do you call it, way of indicating that he's about to consign him to the scrap heap. I see it coming. I hope it doesn't happen. I sense that he's frustrated with him. I don't even know why he was talking about his inability to speak English. Luis Suarez never spoke a word of English when he came to Liverpool. He came and he played like a son of a bitch for Liverpool. He didn't have to speak English. He just had to play. So I don't know. I have no idea why the language becomes a problem, because football is not played in languages. And there are several Spanish speakers around Liverpool who can tell Nunez, see, something has happened to Darwin Nunez that I'm not happy about. One of the things that has happened is that it looks like his fire has been doused. That's always dangerous, because you take away his natural instinct, and that's a bit of the player gone.
He doesn't see as aggressive, does he?
Exactly. He doesn't seem happy. He doesn't seem happy. He doesn't seem like there's something missing. I don't know if you agree with me. There's something missing, and that all ultimately ends up affecting his confidence. So I don't know what he intends to do, because, for example, you talk about this English thing. You are planning to buy Ugarte. Ugarte doesn't speak a word of English either. He's also from Uruguay. So when you get him, what are you going to say to him, right? You are planning to get players. Ignacio doesn't speak English, so that's a lame excuse, right? I don't want to say stupid, but that's a lame excuse. So I think that the conversation has to be had differently. Look, Klopp needs to sit his forward line. That if you're asking me, he needs to sit his guys down and tell them, look here, we've had problems with injuries. All of you cannot play all the time, right? So some of you are going to have to understand why you are sitting out. I don't want to digress, but look at Elliot. Elliot now simply doesn't feature. You know why?
Because we're playing a system that don't suit him now. That's also why. Yeah.
Thank you. And like I said, when you are watching pitch side, you see a lot of things that Elliot warmed up so many times he could have been a boiled egg, right? But he didn't play. Elliot warmed up so many times. At a point in time, he was even preparing to strip down, and Klopp told him to sit down. So I think that he's going to have to call them, sit them down during the off-season and tell them, hey, maybe I'm trying to patent different systems, because frankly, you need to play different systems against different opponents. Frankly, and if this season has been anything to go by, we now know that playing the same way against everybody doesn't work. because some of the teams are different. They have different personnel, they have different styles, they have different competencies. Basically, you play different ways against different teams. For example, teams that decide to sit in a low block. If you notice, we have real difficulty against teams that decide to sit in a low block and hit us on the counter. We are better off against teams that decide to play a mid block or teams that actually come out and attack us. Okay, because spaces are created at the back for the likes of Salah. Of course, with Diaz coming back, when Diaz is on song, he doesn't sit on the bench; he starts. Right. So those are some of the things that are going to present all kinds of problems for some of the players who feel they should start. The way Jota is playing right now, like you said, there's absolutely no way Klopp sits him down. Klopp likes Jota.
Yeah, he works in his system.
Exactly. So Klopp likes Jota. Jota is scoring goals. Jota doesn't sit down. That's one spot taken. Klopp likes Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz is playing well. Even the 10 minutes he had yesterday, you saw that, but for him coming on, maybe Nottingham Forest could have equalized because he took the attention of those people who would have been moving forward. Salah obviously doesn't sit. So the likes of Gakpo and Nunez are going to have to come to the realization that, hey, maybe...
The squad players.
Right. Well, not squad, I would say alternatives, because people are going to get injured. And then I also think, don't hold me up to this, but I also think that in Klopp's mind, he sees Luis Diaz as a possible replacement for Salah when needed. So
I think that will be the case. I think Luis Diaz will play quite a lot right wing next season. I just want to get to this comment a minute. Big up, idiot abroad. Big up to you. Now, we're not moaning, my friend. We're not moaning. We're just penciling things out. We're happy we won. We're going to get to all that. We're just chatting the breeze there. We're not moaning about anything. We're actually liking. We got a squad now. We're trying to work out who will play where. Because one thing I will say is that Jurgen has never had this issue with our forward line before, who to play, because it used to be Salah, Bobby, Mane, right? They played every week. There was no rotation. They played every single week. We didn't really have enough quality on the bench. You had your Shakiris and maybe your Taki Minaminos and your Origis. But at the end of the day, them three were never good enough to get Mane out of the team, a Salah out of the team, or a Bobby out of the team. So they played all the time. So it was easy to pick for Jurgen. Yeah, what we're saying now is we've got more of a squad, which is great. And what do we do? Because what's going to be everyone's starting front three? Because I feel like if everyone's fit, and they play to Klopp's system, for me, Liverpool's front three at the beginning of the next season will be Jota in the 9, Salah on the right, and Diaz off the left, because they all work into Klopp's system. Then you've got Cody Gakpo and Darwin Nunez, who are the new boys that are your bench boys that have still got to learn the way that Klopp wants to play. Now, Gakpo for me will be he already understands the system. He knows Klopp's system already. He already works in this system, yeah? And he's doing what Klopp... I mean, if you look at Gakpo's stats since he came in January and where he's playing, his stats... Klopp would be perfectly happy with what he's done so far. His stats hold up, right? So you got Gakpo is fine. My whole worry, because I rate the player, I really like Darwin Nunez. Darwin Nunez is my whole worry, because Darwin Nunez is the only one out of all our forwards that we've got on our books right now that don't suit the system.
Exactly. I mean,
and that's the worry.
Thing is, he's going to have a conversation with them and figure out where they go from here. You see, one of the things that we've admired about a team like Manchester City is the fact that Pep is able to hone the players to play the way he wants them to play. But even more importantly, he's made some of the players understand that there is a need for that squad rotation. And I'll give you an example. Julian Alvarez starts in any team Of all the leagues in the world, Julian Alvarez starts in every single team apart from Manchester City, and he's not complaining.
No.
I believe those are some of the things you're trying to say. Julian Alvarez, if you recall, when we played them, we were saying, and erroneously so, that we were all excited that Haaland was not going to play. And that was a mistake, because we should have wished Haaland played, because I think that VVD would have played better against Haaland than he played against Julian Alvarez, because he couldn't even find Julian Alvarez. He couldn't find him. He was able to dart him, behind him, in, out, all over the place. Julian Alvarez is an example. So I think for the manager is a good problem to have, when you can bring in players who can affect the situation. And for the person who sent the chat, we're not criticizing anybody.
No, we're actually praising
just
the squad.
spelling out what we have.
Yeah.
Is a
Praising
situation
the squad,
we didn't
man.
have at the beginning of the season. That's why we played so badly. If we had these guys throughout the season, we'll be on top of the league. Because this year's league has been pretty shitty. I mean, it has been pretty shitty. And
it is a substandard Premier League this year. There's no doubt about that.
So if
you look at our forward line,
if you have these kind of players who are able to affect, notice that since this, in the last 2 or 3 matches, we've actually had the run on the teams, because we have the squad and we have the personnel to do that. We can chop and change them as we please. The only thing that we have is a problem in midfield. So it's not a slight on any of our players. We love our players just like you do. It doesn't mean that we can't have an honest discussion about where we are. I mean, we're not crossing swords here. We are simply spelling it out as it is. I was there yesterday. I saw some of the things that were going on, and that's it. Trust me, I was happy to get out of that place with the 3-2 victory. But once again, let's look at it in terms of, look, you saw a reaction immediately after they equalized. It was like Liverpool could move into another gear. That's what we've wanted. They equalized. Okay, good. Put the ball in the center. Let's go score again. We haven't had that this year, so we should be happy about that. It's just, we're just discussing what we do with a player that we all see is unhappy because he's not getting the minutes he thought he would get. Klopp has to find a way. He's the one paid the big bucks.
Look, I think Klopp rates Darwin, but at this moment in time, maybe Klopp's got bigger things set up for Darwin next season, and we change the way we play. And if we do, it all depends what players buy. If we're buying an Alexis McAllister in, then you got more chance of Darwin playing number 9 because he will find him, right?
Yeah.
So you got more. If McAllister comes to Liverpool, you got more chance of Darwin being number 9 next season. Also, Luis Diaz being fit for a whole season. I don't think we realise how much of a miss Luis Diaz has been this season. You know, you saw it yesterday, just in little spells. He's a ball carrier. We ain't got many ball carriers in the team, right? And also he's creative off that left-hand side. Also, I think he can shift over to the right at times and play over there when needed. Look, the only attacker, in my opinion, that is guaranteed to play every single week is Mo Salah, right?
Yep.
I think Mo Salah's the one guaranteed to play every week. So I know a lot of people are saying about playing about, but like my man is saying about playing 2 up top and stuff like that. The reason I don't think that can happen, I wish it could happen as well, so I think it would help. But because Salah's guaranteed to start pretty much every week, you're always going to play 3 up top with it. And with that, you've got to look in a way of getting players in. Now, right now, look, there's no one saying that Darwin can't learn to do what Klopp wants him to do. If Darwin learns to do what Klopp wants him to do, Darwin starts every week. You know, that's not even debate that. It starts every week.
Guess what? For Uruguay, at least until now, that's until now that Suarez has retired, right? He actually plays on the left side of midfield.
Yeah, plays on the
because
left.
they play 4-4-2.
Yeah.
They play 4-4-2. If they play a 4-4-2 and he plays on the left side of the midfield, they played against Ghana. I watched the match. Um, and Darwin played on left side. So I also think that one of Klopp's problems with Darwin is that he tends to run out of gas when he starts.
Yeah, he might have a stamina problem. Yeah.
Because he has said it. He didn't say so. It was the other guy. The parrot said it, that he tends to run out of gas. So those are all issues that they are trying to fix. I think we as the fans should be patient. Like you said, I see him starting as a pure center forward on occasion, like being the standard, because when he's in the box and the cross comes in, if it gets to his head, that's a goal. If he doesn't have time to think and try to figure out what to do with the ball, like a Bobby Firmino or a Jota for that matter, if he has to take a pop, he has to take a strike and go, oftentimes that's a goal. Even yesterday, he took a shot that with a little bit of luck, he tried to curl the ball. With a little bit of luck, that was going in. So I think we should, right now, let's experiment, because frankly, if we're not going to do top four, we'd rather be eighth. You know what I'm saying? We'd rather be seventh or eighth. So let's give it a pop. Let's see how it works out. Yeah, let's see how it works out. The manager, as we speak now, is probably flush with all the decisions he's had to make. He hasn't had that this year, and so let's see how it goes. Let's just see how it goes.
To be fair to Klopp, Klopp's never had this depth as a forward line for
Yeah,
Liverpool since he's been here, because
yeah,
it's been Salah, Mane, and Bobby, Salah, and Mane, yeah,
yeah.
and
It's just
and
like it's
behind that
just
used to
like
be Origi, Shaqiri, and Taki Minamino. They were never at the quality
no,
to come in and take over
absolutely,
that front three. But now, if you look at our front three now, if you look at our attacking depth, they're all quite equal in ability. And any three of the five could play and mix it up, and you'd probably be quite happy with it. And it's not a poor front line. You could
yeah.
go Diaz, you could go Luis Diaz on the right in one game, Gakpo on the left, and Jota through the middle. You can go Salah, Diaz on the left, and Jota through the middle. You go Darwin through the middle, Gakpo on the left, and Salah on the right. You can mix it up. You can mix it up against different teams, and
Basically,
that's
basically,
something
we
that's
are
great
we
thing.
are we are we are like a guy with many girlfriends, many beautiful.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we are
Exactly.
spoiled for
Exactly.
choice. We are spoiled for choice.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're spoiled for choice now.
Right. Let's talk about some of the players yesterday. So we spoke about like Hendo. Look, so in the Liverpool, I'm just looking at the Liverpool Echo here, and they're doing their player ratings, and Jordan Henderson and Curtis Jones both got a 6 out of 10 in their
I,
player ratings.
I don't know. I don't know what they were watching. So I'll just leave them to watch what they were watching.
Yeah.
I no, I was sitting. Oh, but guess what? I was actually sitting next to an ex-player. I don't want to mention his name because I don't think he would like. Um, and I'll tell you off air who it was. A
Yeah.
really a former senior defender, one of our best ever defenders back in the day. He was sitting right next to me. He didn't even know I would recognize him, but and he was saying to me he doesn't understand what the manager is doing, fielding Henderson for so long. And I said, well, some say leadership. And he said, leadership, when they were playing, leadership was not the criteria for being on the pitch. So, and he laughed and said, so then why doesn't Klopp go and put Rishi Sunak on the pitch if he wants leadership? Because he's the prime minister. And we laughed about it. He's the leadership alone doesn't cut it. And a lot of people say that um, VVD is not vocal. That's not true though, because you could actually, I was sitting 6 rows from the side of the long side, so you could actually hear the players. VVD is very vocal, and so is the goalkeeper. So you can't say that it is because of Henderson was rather making mistakes. Look at the second goal that they scored. He actually stopped Nunez from being on top of the guy who ended up scoring the goal. And then he ended up blaming him. And thankfully, somebody has put that out. So that leadership thing should be thrown to the wolves. It should put in consent to the dustbin. That's not the only criteria. And if you're gonna bring new players in, like we think he is, where in that sphere are you gonna go and keep starting Henderson? Are you gonna keep starting Henderson ahead of Mason Mount? Are you gonna start him ahead of Kefren Turam? Are you going to start him ahead of Alexis McAllister? Who are you going to start Henderson ahead of, given what they want to do? So that's not a criteria. I think that seeing the fact that we are committed 7.2 million pounds a year to Henderson for the next God knows when, you should put him in as somebody who comes in off the bench, like in baseball they call a closer. Bringing him to close the show, bring him in to secure the points. When you don't need him, don't bring him in. That's it.
Yeah, I agree. I think with Hendo, look, I think he might know next season that he ain't going to play as many minutes as he does right now. You know, what is he going to be 33 into next season?
But that's what we said at the beginning of this season. Remember? That's what we said.
Yeah. I think he's been let down with injuries this season. So maybe, if Liverpool are going to get Mason Mount in, I think we all have to just get ready for that, because I think it's going to happen. Also, I do actually think Mason Mount probably will work under Jurgen Klopp. I'm going to say it right now. I think it's going to be one of them transfers everyone's going to hate, but in a year's time, we're all going to look back at it and go, right, it worked. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be one of them weird transfers. But I actually think Mason Mount will work for Liverpool.
Hold on a second. My problem with Mason Mount is twofold. Twofold. Why are we talking about 60 million pounds for a guy who has a year left on his contract?
Yeah, that's too much money.
Right? Why we even talk? Yeah. Listen, if we go anything about 30 to 35 million pounds for Mason Mount, given the position Chelsea is in, we are bad negotiators. Right now, Chelsea need money to amortize the debt that they have on their books.
Yeah, they got to sell a lot of players.
They are almost 1.3 billion pounds in debt. Why would we want to buy him for 60 million pounds? Why would you want to do a thing like that? If that be the case, then we should let him keep playing at Chelsea and come next year. Right?
I agree.
Because we are doing a similar thing with Jude Bellingham. Don't be surprised if Jude Bellingham decides to play at Dortmund next year.
Yeah, I've been saying that for a while. I think he'll stay at Dortmund.
And if that happens, why couldn't we do the same for Mason Mount if we really want him? Now, the other thing with Mason Mount is the question we have to ask ourselves: where exactly in the Klopp system does he fit? Because I don't think that Mason Mount is the kind of midfielder who wants to come back and defend.
You know where he plays? Where Hendo's been playing the last 3 games, and that right-sided midfield.
Do you think he's going to come back and defend when he needs to?
I think he will. I literally think he will. Look, I look at Mason Mount. The man won. Did he win 2 back-to-back Players of the Years at Chelsea? And only Hazard has done that. I think Mason Mount's a decent player. He's just stagnated at Chelsea. But I think he'd be all right for it. I literally do. If you put Mason Mount in the same position as Hendo yesterday, Mason Mount does more for us, right? There's no doubt about that, right? And I think if Mason Mount's coming to Liverpool,
you do better for us.
I don't know about that.
Henderson is a bad standard. I do better for us. I'm 54 years old and I have a pot belly that I'm trying to slim down. I do better. I'm telling you that right now.
I think Mason Mount will just be one of them players that we look on in 12 months' time and go, all right, he worked out. We didn't like him at the time, but he worked out. It'd be one of them transfers. It's not a sexy transfer. It's not a big name, but I think he'll just work out into the way Klopp wants to play.
I will defer to you on that. I'm not convinced. But for me, and the last thing is the amount of money he wants. See, his whole problem at Chelsea has been the fact that he wants more money. I understand that. I don't know why they are still paying him 80 grand. That's not fair. Okay, given the fact that he's dedicated all his youth to Chelsea, he's played for them, served well, even won the Champions League, because I thought that Champions League match, he was the best player on the pitch that day. They should have been able to give him a little bit closer to what he wanted. But if you transpose that to Liverpool, are you going to pay him ahead of VVD? I don't think so. Are you going to give him?
I don't think Mason Mount gets anywhere near the wages he apparently wants.
Exactly.
I reckon if he goes to Liverpool, he'll be put 140 grand a week. The same as, I think he will get the wages that Oxlade-Chamberlain is on when he leaves.
He's rejected 160. He's rejected 160 at Chelsea. So what do we do?
I don't think he's going to get anywhere. Even if he went to Man City, I don't think he's getting them wages.
Jamie, let's also be fair to him. He has a point. You bring in Raheem Sterling and you are paying him £325,000 a week. Yeah, why would you want to play with? See, that's the conundrum that people didn't understand about the issue with Mane and Salah. Liverpool offered Mane a 250k, take it or leave it thing.
He wanted Salah money though, didn't he?
Right. But I still think that Mane was stupid not to take that, because given where he is now and the problems he's having, I wasn't surprised. Listen, you were treated as a god. Okay. And also, Liverpool's wage structure has a lot to do with bonuses and wins and that kind of thing. So if you were actually winning and all that, there was simply a jealousy quotient between him and Salah, and that was born on the fact that they were both African players. Mane has won the African Player of the Year twice in succession. He had carried his team to win against Salah's team at the Africa Cup of Nations. He had carried his team to beat Egypt again to qualify for the World Cup. So he felt he was a better player. I think it was a more or less a semi-literate position to take, but that was the state of play. He should have tarried a while and thought through what he was doing, because having gone where he's gone, now they're actually looking to offload him. They're actively looking to offload him at the end of the year. He's in a spot of bother because nobody's going to pay him £354,000 a week. Nobody's even going to buy him for as much as Bayern Munich may want for him. So that's a bit of a problem. So, I don't know. I think that one of the things that may stop Mount from coming to Liverpool will be the wages that he wants to be on. If that can be sorted out, and if it cannot be, it's not going to be a problem in the dressing room, then let's see what happens. Because, like I always say, we the supporters don't have it all. A lot of the times we are right, a lot of the times we are wrong, because we were all up in arms about Wijnaldum. I'm sure you remember when we went to pay £20 million for Wijnaldum, we went schizophrenic as to why we will pay £20 million for a guy who is in a team that has gone on relegation. The rest is history. So we sometimes, we are wrong. Let's just admit that sometimes we're wrong. We don't know everything. We know a lot. And like I always say, we use the eyeball. I don't, I'm a pretty good mathematician, but I don't really give a crap about all the stats about the heat zones, the red zones, the blue zones, all that pie charts, all that crap and nonsense. I watch football and I see a player and I know that the guy is good. These XGs and the GAs and the FFFs and what the fuck? I don't know anything anymore. But I just watch the player and I'm like, this guy is good. I saw Ugarte and I'm like, this guy is a good fucking player. Right? And for me, my idea, I'm pretty old-fashioned. My idea of a great defensive midfielder is a guy who completely lays out somebody who's going to score a goal in the dying moments of a game and then walks off the field knowing that he's going to be shown a red card. That's my idea of a defensive midfielder. That's my idea. So, hey, and for me, I am a Graham Souness man. I don't know whether you saw some of Graham Souness. That guy was a complete bastard in the middle. He kicks people's ass in the middle of the park. That's what I want to see. Ugarte is the man for that sixth position. I must admit, I haven't seen much of Gravenberg. I've also seen Kefren Turam. He is a hell of a player. Let's go get him if we can afford him. And sometimes go and get the player because you don't want somebody else to get him. Do that. Do it. You know?
I agree. I agree, man. I agree. Right, let's talk about the rest of these players that played yesterday. Look, I'm perfectly happy with the result. I'm glad we got the win. Was it the performance I wanted? No, I thought we were quite slow out the blocks yesterday. Look, we controlled the game. We had like 86% of possession at half time, I believe. We controlled the whole game, but we didn't look penetrative enough. There was things in the game I didn't like. I thought Henderson, the whole game, was not quick enough on the ball. He slowed it down too much, went sideways and backwards a lot. As I said, there was a lot of groans in the Anfield crowd, you could hear. I thought Konate was actually really bad yesterday as well. I thought Konate had a really poor game yesterday. Really poor. Again, with Konate, though, I don't think he's been that great in the last 3 games, but he's covering Trent at right back and his centre-back position at the same time, so it's understandable. Robbo was just solid, nothing much to him. But yeah, let's rate these players, guys. So who should we chat about first? Let's get him up here. So Konate. What's everyone say about Konate in the chat, guys, yesterday? Because I look at Konate and I feel like Konate is an aggressive defender. There's no doubt about that. He's an aggressive defender. When it works, he looks out of this world. But his aggression sometimes can cause him to have issues where, he's holding on to players quite a lot. The striker for Forest yesterday, he was causing Konate all sorts of trouble. And Konate decided to battle him sometimes instead of going for the ball and winning the ball instead. Konate was a bit bullied yesterday, I thought. I don't know about you, Al, but I thought Konate was a bit bullied yesterday.
Jamie, I think you should put it in context. You should see Awoniyi. Awoniyi is almost as wide as he is tall. He is a big...
he's massive.
He's a massive physical specimen. Konate is not often dominated because he himself is also 10 foot tall. He's a big strapping lad. But Awoniyi is a different kind of player. He is big, he's physical, he is strong. What he actually lacked is a little bit of technical know-how. He would really have caused us problems. And you saw that scissor kick that he put it and he nearly scored. So I wouldn't blame Konate too much. He simply had too much to do. That's all. Because he had his central defense role, and then he had his other things to do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I didn't think Konate was great against Arsenal in the first half. He was great in the second half against Arsenal. Yesterday, against Leeds, he gave away the goal with his bad touch, trying to bring the ball out. So Konate's had issues in the last 3 games. There's no doubt about that.
That's the reason why we should have a long-term solution to the Trent issue, because that's also an issue. You should have a proper fullback. I hear they're bringing Jurgen Timber. I hope that works.
Yeah, just get a right back in, man, and Konate will be solid again. It's the only reason Konate's looking as bad as he is at the moment is because he's covering right back and centre back, so he's doing a lot of work. That's why. Get Konate just being a centre back with Virgil and a right back next to him. Konate would be absolutely no problem. So I'm not worried about Konate for the future or anything like that.
Virgil is also not all there,
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Virgil's still got issues as well. So next season, I'm looking at it thinking, get a proper right back in. Canate and Virgil, summer off. Hopefully they come back fresh, especially Virgil. And we'll get some of the old Virgil back. And Canate, I've got no problem with. He's got an excellent future. He's only 23. He's a baby as a defender. He's going to be absolute quality. Man's going to be world class. There's no doubt about that. It's just the last 3 games, there's been some issues. As I said, the first half against Arsenal, he was terrible. Second half, he was amazing. The game against Leeds, he gave away the goal with his, trying to play out from the back dodgily. Yesterday, he got bullied a little bit, and it's because he's trying to play 2 positions at once. So,
Exactly.
once we get it all sorted, Kanate's going to be absolutely fine. I've got no problems with that. Robbo, let's talk about Robbo. Now, a lot of people were saying, I don't think Robbo was that great yesterday either. But what do we do with Robbo? Should we be looking at another left back?
He's 29. We need to look for a long-term replacement. That's why I think Evan Ndika is very, very, very essential. We need a long-term replacement for him. I don't think that Tsimikas is it, because Tsimikas has been given a few opportunities, but I may be wrong. See, I may be wrong because the opportunities is one thing, but there must be a consistency of opportunity. So maybe it's because he hasn't been given the opportunity to play enough times, but then if he's given enough times, maybe he'll do better. So I think Evan Ndika, a player like him at this point, is very, very important. You see, and so this issue of buying mobile centre backs to full backs becomes a good conversation to have. Jurgen Timber can play both as a centre back and the full back. Ndika can play both as a centre back and the full back on the other side. That's good. Robertson, the future, no, because yesterday, I mean, you saw what happened with the first goal. He shouldn't have been in the way. It was his touch that put the ball in the net, because the hit from Williams was not even all that. It was just a hit, but the goalkeeper Alisson saves that all day. But for the deflection, it goes into it doesn't go into the net. So if you're going to deflect it, you actually put it in touch. That's what you do. So, Jamie, I'm gonna have to jump off because I have an appointment. Because I'm actually gonna have to get on a train, but I'll be watching and yeah. Thank you so much for inviting me. Yesterday was a good day. I hope what I saw of the team was good. I think that we have to hope that it gets better. We need a better midfield, and for now, our planning has to be towards next year. I don't see us qualifying for top 4. I don't see this team beating Aston Villa. I don't see it. I think I'm confident. I also don't see us beating Brentford. So if we're going to qualify for the top 4, we have to beat everybody and hope that something goes wrong somewhere. I don't see it. So that's where I am. I just don't see it.
Fair enough, my man. Fair enough. Frank, appreciate you coming in as always, Albert. And I'll see you again soon.
Thank you.
See you later, my man. See you later on. Yeah, big up, Albert. Big up, Albert. Yeah, guys. So, look, let's go through the player ratings. Let's go through. Let's talk about Diogo Jota. Let's talk about Jota, guys, because Jota is a player that I've been wondering about. Is he going to find his form again? Is Jota done? There's too many injuries now. Have we moved on from Jota? Look, I'm glad I was wrong, man. I am glad that I was wrong about Jota. Also about Jota, I don't know if anyone knows this, but Jota has equalled Anthony and Sancho's goal tally this season in 1 week. Jota's a player, man. Jota's a player. Second goal, the volley, man. The volley, the technical ability. I think we forget Jota is a techie player, man. He's got ability. Also, I think what we forget about Jota, that Jota is very well liked. He's very well respected footballer as well. They love him in Portugal. You know, the Portuguese national setup and all that. Jota's like their star. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell people right now. People might hate this. I'd have Jota over João Felix every day of the week. If I had to pick a Portuguese forward, I'm having Jota over João Felix every day of the week because Jota gives me output. João Felix has got no output. He's all showboat, man. He's a show pony. He looks good on the eye. He looks good on the ball. Zero output. Zero output. I'd have Jota over him every day of the week. And Jota knows the system as well. Jota loves the system. He works well in the system. I thought he was excellent yesterday, Diogo Jota. I'm giving Jota a 9 out of 10. I thought Jota was tremendous yesterday. Mo Salah. Salah getting goals again. He's now equalled with Robbie Fowler. I mean, that's just mad. In much less games as well. He's only 3 goals short now of Steven Gerrard, which he'll probably get by the end of the season. Mo Salah is going to be our 5th all-time goal scorer. 5th. It's madness. And I don't even think Mo Salah's had a good season in Mo Salah terms. I don't think Mo Salah's had an excellent season by any stretch of the imagination. And this man still scores goals. It's absolutely nuts. It's absolutely nuts. What has he got? 15, 16 Premier League goals now? He's going to get 20 Premier League goals this season. Again. This man is going to have 20 goals again in the Premier League this season. The man bags. The man scores. You can't count him out. You're getting him in positions now, though. Salah's looked better the last few weeks because he's getting in better goal-scoring positions. And that's where you want Mo Salah. Yeah, Mo, I'll give a 7 yesterday. Mo was decent yesterday. Mo was decent, man. Mo was decent. Gakpo, I thought that was Gakpo's poorest game for Liverpool so far. I'm going to give Gakpo a 5. I didn't feel like Gakpo gave us anywhere near enough yesterday. I thought Gakpo was quite poor yesterday. So, yeah, I'm going to give Gakpo a 5. I think that's his poorest game for Liverpool so far. But he understands the system, and that's why he plays, guys. I would prefer Darwin as a number 9 all day long. But Darwin don't understand the system just yet. So that's why Gakpo's playing there. Curtis Jones, I thought was decent yesterday. Not as good as he has been in the previous 2 games. I thought he was better against Arsenal and he was better against Leeds. But he was still decent yesterday. Nothing spectacular. Kept the ball nice and simple. Won the ball back. What I like about Curtis Jones, though, when he made a mistake, he went and won the ball back. I like that. You know, he didn't just stand there and give it up. He went and try and win the ball back. Try aggressively win the ball back. I like that. I don't mind that. I'm going to give him a 6. I thought he was decent, man. So I'm going to give Curtis Jones a 6. Kept it nice and simple. Henderson's getting a 4. A 3 or a 4 for Jordan Henderson. Actually, a 3. Considering he played the whole game. A 3 out of 10 for Jordan Henderson. I thought he was atrocious yesterday. And I've never heard the Anfield crowd groan at Jordan Henderson before. I've never heard the Anfield crowd groan at Jordan Henderson before when he passed the ball backwards. I've never heard that. So now, you know, even they were getting fed up. Now, Henderson was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Either a 3 or a 4 for Hendo. I'm not quite sure. But he was bad, man. Fabinho, I actually thought, I said it in the watch-along. I thought we got worse when Fabinho got substituted. I actually thought we got worse when Fabinho got substituted. Now, Albert thinks he got substituted because he was tired, and that might be the case. But I thought we gradually got worse as a team when Fabinho went off. I thought Fabinho had a decent game. I'm going to give Fabinho a 7. I thought we had a decent game. As I said, I thought we actually got worse when he came off. You know, Forest actually got better in the game as soon as Fabinho went off yesterday. I thought he looked a lot better, more of himself. Now we come to the 2 centre-backs. Who I both thought didn't have good games at all yesterday. I don't think either of these 2 boys had a good game at all yesterday. I thought Konate was terrible. I'm going to give Konate a 4. I thought Konate was awful yesterday. And again, this is not on Konate, to be fair. He's trying to play right back and centre back. He got bullied quite a bit. He's almost gave away a penalty with hands all over a defender. He started to battle Awoni instead of trying to win the ball. I thought Konate was terrible yesterday. I really did. I thought he was out of position a lot. I thought he was awful. I'm going to say it right now. He's allowed bad games, guys. Konate's allowed bad games. And look, he just had a bad game. The man's 23 years old. I see so much potential in Konate that I'm not worried. I'm not worried about Konate. Always going to be a world-class defender. There is no doubt about that. Against West Ham, Konate could probably be world-class again against West Ham. Putting crunching tackles will be immense. Konate's 23 years of age, guys. So he's going to have games where he's going to be world-class one game and he's going to be down here the next game. There's no problem with it because he's a young boy. He's only 23 years of age still learning the game. So I've got no worries about it. He's not always going to be spectacular. It's not a problem. But yeah, I thought Konate was not good yesterday. I didn't think he was good at all. Also, his centre-back partner I didn't think was great either, but I just thought he was a little bit better. I thought just a tiny bit better at a 5, and that's not much more. It's not much more. Virgil 5, Konate 4. I thought they were both, not great. I'm only giving Konate a less of a grade because he tried to battle the striker physically instead of trying to win the ball back, and that's the wrong thing to do at times. And Virgil was out of position quite a lot yesterday as well. So, they were both poor for me. Both poor. Can do far better and need to start doing better as well, especially Virgil. I worry about Virgil. I don't worry about Konate because he's 23. Virgil's at the other end of his career. So I do worry about Virgil next season. But Konate, I don't worry about at all because I know next season Konate is going to be even better. And he's going to be older. He's going to be a year older. He's going to be bigger. He's going to be stronger. He's going to be quicker. I've got no worries about Konate's future. Virgil, on the other hand, I do worry about. I ain't going to lie. I'm hoping Virgil just has a whole summer off of no football this summer and just chills out. And hopefully we see the real Virgil again next season. That's all I'm hoping now. Trent. Yeah, look, Trent, 9 out of 10 for me. Man of the match, man. 9 out of 10, man of the match. Trent was excellent. Dictating the game, controlling the midfield, kept the ball pass moving, getting assists, creating opportunities, creating goal-scoring opportunities, laying balls on plates, getting in dangerous areas, whipping in beautiful crosses, beautiful threading through balls from the midfield, breaking the lines with his passing, controlling the ball from a defensive midfield position where he just keeps the ball ticking over, playing with a smile on his face, looking happy. Yeah, Trent was great, man. Trent was great yesterday, and him and Diogo Jota come out of this game with big positives. I thought Fabinho was all right, as I said, and I also thought Mo was good as well. They're the players, man, that come out of this game. Obviously, Alisson as well couldn't do anything about any of the goals, but they're the players, man, that come out of it. Look, the performance weren't great yesterday. The performance was dead, but we won the game. And what I will say, what we haven't spoke about, is that Liverpool come back from certain positions. I think a few weeks ago, if this game happened 6 weeks ago or even 4 weeks ago, Liverpool either draw or lose that game. Liverpool either draw that game 2-2 or we lose that game 3-2. Liverpool now coming back and winning games. I literally think 4 weeks ago, Liverpool draw or lose that game, but we won that game. That's the difference. There's a bit more of a fighting spirit in the team all of a sudden, which I'm enjoying, which I'm definitely enjoying. I'm glad that we see him back. But we got the 3 points. What's it taking us? Like the 6th or 7th in the league? Newcastle and Tottenham play later. Yeah, we wait to see that game. I'd rather Tottenham win that game, I'd rather Tottenham win that game. If Tottenham win that game, we've got a game in hand on Tottenham, and then we play Tottenham on next Sunday. If we win our game in hand and also beat Tottenham next Sunday, it's game on. But let's not think about that right now. Let's just carry on trying to win every game we possibly can till the end of the season. Let's go for it. Let's see where we finish at the end of the season. Keep winning games. Look, we've got a big game on Wednesday night against West Ham away. I'll be doing the watch along for that. I'll be doing a double watch along at the same time. I'll be doing the Liverpool West Ham game and the Manchester City and Arsenal game all at the same time, guys. So make sure you're joining me for that. It's gonna be an epic game. It's gonna be an epic game. Make sure you join me for both games, guys. I'll be doing the watch along for both. Should be a good one. Make sure you're joining me for that. Look, guys, it's been a great show. Thank you very much for joining me today. I do really appreciate it, guys. I am live tonight again today at 4 p.m. for the Man United and Brighton FA Cup semi-final, where we're all going to be Brighton fans. We're all going to be Brighton fans. So make sure you join me at 4 p.m. this afternoon for the Brighton Man United game, where we're all going to be Brighton fans and cheering on the Brighton to see if they can make it into the FA Cup final against Manchester City. So, yeah, make sure you join me then, guys, at 4 p.m. today. When this video ends, guys, you're going to be redirected to my watch-along video. There's 75 people in here right now. Could you all go and leave a like on that video straight away? I'll be appreciated. So when this video ends in a minute, guys, don't go anywhere. You'll be redirected to my new video. It'll pop up on your screen. So stay where you are, guys. My new video will pop up on your screen. Everyone go and leave a like on that video before we start at 4 p.m. I see there's 75 people in here right now. Let's say we get 50 likes. Go and hit the like button on my next video. It's going to pop up in your screen right now. Big up. Bye-bye.